today's first interview, and it's with the chairman of Lemington Football Club, and it is good afternoon, Marcus Story. Marcus, can you hear me?
I can, Susan. Thank you very much for having me on.
An absolute pleasure, and thank you very much for bearing with us as well. We've had a few technical issues, but it looks as though we've managed to circumnavigate them, so thank you very much for bearing with us.
No problem.
First of all, Lemington Football Club, you're looking for a coach for the women's team. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, so we started last year, tried to get a women's team together, but it was a little bit short notice, if I'm being honest with you. So we waited rather than rush something. We wanted to do it properly. We now have a women's team in place that are going to be competing this coming season that we're all very excited about here at Lemington. And we were putting adverts out for a head coach, which I believe is where you noticed us. And I would just like to say in the last couple of days, we've had some really promising conversations with an individual, which is really exciting because this person seems to have a really strong background in football, a very strong coaching background as well, which means that ultimately the girls are going to be getting an absolutely fantastic coach. So, that's really, really exciting and something we're eager to get started with here.
So did you have a specific criteria in mind when you put the feelers out for a new coach?
Yes, I did. So when it comes to a football club, everyone wants to win. That's a given. There's no way around it. But ultimately, starting something so new at a grassroots level, my key thing around my club is that everyone enjoys themselves. Everyone plays for the love of exactly what the game is, football. It's meant to be enjoyable. It's meant to be fun. Ultimately, that's what it's about. So it's making sure that whichever coach I brought in, whoever that may be, the passion was there, the love of coaching, the love of developing people as well. No one's going to come to us as the finished article, and we're 100% appreciative of that.
Yeah. It's
having that someone who understands that, buys into the ethos that we have at the club. And based on the men's team that I have, and we have a women's recreational team as well, every single person thoroughly enjoys coming to training and thoroughly enjoys being part of the club because of the atmosphere and the kind of ethos that we have at the club, and that is absolutely paramount to me.
You talked about ethos as well, and you've lost Tanya Sandu. Is that an ethos that she upheld as well during her time at the club?
She did. Tanya was a very special player, brilliant, infectious smile, infectious laugh, just the life and soul. Unfortunately, such is life that sometimes people have to move on. She had to move back home down to London for work. So we were all very sad to lose her. But yes, ultimately, Tanya had everything that you were looking for. She was eager to learn. She listened well. She played the game brilliantly, but was also a very technically very skilled player. So we are unfortunate to lose her, but she's just one example of many individuals we have who completely embody the ethos we hold here.
And looking at the team now, I mean, are you... we've seen a lot of women's football has absolutely mushroomed since the success of the Lionesses at Euro 2022 and going forward. Have you found that more females have been wanting to take up the game as a result of that, or did you have a solid core prior to that?
So I would completely agree, Susan, that since the Lionesses' fantastic achievement, women's football has just perfectly put, has completely mushroomed. It's grown into something where for whatever reason, some people still identify it as a men's sport, which it couldn't be any further from the truth. It's everyone's sport. And the uptake has been fantastic. I believe just this year there's so many new women's teams being formed, ready for the new season, which is obviously fantastic for the area, fantastic for the country, and fantastic for women's football. We have a very strong core. There are some of the girls from the recreation team that have decided to take the plunge and join our competitive team. Now, finding women who are interested in playing football is, as you may imagine, naturally much more difficult than finding men in the North East who want to play football. But we had our first training session on Wednesday, and from the individuals I've met, we have about 15 or 16 very interested individuals who seem like they'll stick it out. They all have absolutely fantastic personalities. They're all eager. They're all hungry, ready to get going. We've got a big mix as well. We have some who have played football before and maybe had a break from the sport through personal issues or injuries, and they're looking to get back in. We also have, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, some women coming in who have always loved football but perhaps haven't played in, maybe sometimes many years since they were at school. So the mix of experience and the mix of personalities, even just from that first session, was so promising and so lovely to see that despite the nerves of the first session, and it's always a nervous first session, that come 20 minutes into it, they were laughing, they were joking with each other, bonds were already starting to form, which is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So we were very lucky that we do have what appears to be a strong core, but, we are still actively looking for women who want to be involved, who want to come along and just be somewhere where they can be proud to play their football and proud to, pull on the shirt and just enjoy themselves with a fantastic group of women.
You've talked about the recreation team and the competitive team. What is put my teeth in, specifically the difference between a recreational team and a competitive team?
Yeah, so competitive team is league format, as you would with any normal team, like any Premier League team, any other grassroots team, where they compete week on. Couldn't hear, I need to put my teeth in there.
It's catching.
Oh, I know, yeah, it's come down the phone. So the competitive team is where they take on in a league format over the course of a whole season, generally from about September till April/May. And it's all very structured. Now, recreational football it's along the lines of, there's the FA Just Play sessions, which is for women 16 plus to come and just enjoy football. It's simply where you might have never played football before. You want to come and make some new friends. You want to just come and get fit. The recreational football, that is that side. It's ultimately where fun wins over all. Fun is the aim of the game. And that's something that it came about very suddenly last year when I didn't quite get enough for the women's competitive team. And then I decided to put a recreational team together because I had some women who were still interested and I didn't want to disappoint them. And I'll be brutally honest with you, it's the best part of my week. I absolutely love leading those sessions. We had one last night where, honestly, where ribs were hurting off laughing. It was just such a fun environment. We go to tournaments that the FA run. We recently did a tournament in Scotland, where the girls did absolutely fantastic and gave their best effort against some, I'll be brutally honest, some very, very strong Scottish teams up there. And they did fantastic. So there's loads of opportunities. But with the recreational side as well, there's women who come along to the sessions who have no interest in playing the games, and that's absolutely fine as well. They don't have to. They can simply just pay to play, turn up, have a bit of a laugh, join in the social side of it, but there's no pressure on them to play the games. That's entirely up to the individual.
Okay. You've talked about the competitive team and starting out and affiliated to the Northumberland League. So what would be the process now for you to launch that competitive women's team? What would you have to do?
So the application has been put into Northumberland Football League. We're waiting on... The normal process is, and they would take all, which is from my experience of the men's team, I would assume a lot of leagues are run similarly. They'll take the application for ours and other teams, discuss it at their AGM, and then we will either be voted in. Sometimes perhaps teams may be invited to the AGM to state their case, tell the group of clubs a little bit about their club, why they're wanting to be involved, just in case any teams have any questions or concerns, which I think is the best way because it's fair and open. Yeah. And once they have voted, if we're, touch wood, I would like to think we'll get in because we hold a good standing in the community, and we hold a good standing in people's opinions. So I would like to think we will be voted in. They would structure the league as such where I can imagine we would start at the bottom league, which is, that's absolutely fine. That's where everyone should start.
Yes.
And we have already started putting some friendlies informally into the books. Those friendlies will be formalised as soon as we get the okay from the league, just to make sure that, we're not putting a load of money in, booking pictures and getting kits sorted. And, there's a lot of moving parts that come with a football team, and we want to make sure that we're not putting them in place only to have no league to be a part of, if that makes sense.
When do you think you'll hear a decision?
Hopefully as soon as possible, because I would like to just get that just cleared up as soon as I can. Yeah. And then it means the women, we don't have that kind of hanging over with. We can just put that to one side, and we're like, right, we can now focus solely on the training sessions. We can focus on bonding. We can focus on getting match fit and getting the kits sorted, and just all the small little steps that goes involved in starting up a team. We can start putting all of those actions in place, and they're all pretty much. Most of them are ready to go. They're just waiting for me to press the button for them too.
You said as soon as possible. Could that decision come within days, or would you anticipate it might be taking weeks?
I think it'll probably be weeks, because as far as I'm aware, the Northumberland Football League, now it's a huge league, the Northumberland Football League, it is responsible for hundreds of teams, thousands of players. And I believe they only had their award ceremony for some of the younger players even as late as a couple of weeks ago. So I believe they may be taking a small break to give the committee time to rejuvenate, restart themselves for the new season. So I would imagine, fingers crossed, within the next couple of weeks that we would hear. That's what I would like to hear.
OK, Marcus, can I ask you to keep us updated here
Absolutely.
On Nova Radio North East with the status of that application? And we do have the Women's Football Show, which takes place every Wednesday when the season is on. So it could well be that we'll be keeping tabs on the team all the way through the season. So can I just once again say thank you very much for taking time out to come on the programme. Really appreciate it, and wish you all the very best with that application. Hope it's successful.
Thank you very much, Susan. I'll keep you up to date, and thank you very much for your time.
No problem, and thank you, Mark.